So I'm going to show you how to do the layered Mickey mandala. The mandala that we're going to use is this one. If you want to type in the full one, or you can just type in circle mandala and it will come up. So it's this one right here that I used. So this is a paid one under Cricut Access. I'm just going to make this a bit smaller just so that we can have it all on one screen here to work with. So we are going to need 3 of these. So while it's selected, we're going to duplicate it 3 times so that we have the different ears as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually hide some of these. I'm going to take this out now so that we have the space to work with it. So we have our 3 different sets here that we're going to work with. One is going to be our body and 2 are going to be our ears. It's actually going to be easier if we do it with 2. So I'm going to show you with the 2. So I have my preloaded Mickey head here, and this I'm going to make smaller as well just to make it easier to see. And with this, it's just going to be used to overlay to create our mandala. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it the same size as the body or the head of the Mickey, just by resizing it and just overlaying it there. Now we are going to need to do 2 ears as well, which are going to be a bit smaller. Now for this one, the ears are slightly misshaped. They're not quite full circles, but I used full circles for this so that it was about the same. So that is covering over basically the full black section. And don't worry about the overlap, we're going to deal with that in a minute. So I'm going to duplicate this one so that we have the second ear. And to make sure that these are aligned, I'm going to actually select both of these. You can do it through your side menu, or you can grab it like this. Oops, I don't want to take the whole thing, I just want to take the top ones. And it's going to keep giving me the whole thing. So we'll do it over here. And then we're going to align so that they're both aligned to the top or to the bottom. So I'm just going to use align top so that they're both exactly the same height. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually work with only 1 layer at a time. We can get rid of our Mickey, so you can either delete it or you can hide it because we don't need it anymore. And we're going to actually work with the main section first, so the big body section. And what we need to first do is ungroup these so that we can work with these sections individually. So I'm going to take and actually hide everything but the back because I need to work with just that top layer right now. So I'm going to just hide these other ones just to keep it simple. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a copy of this one. And you'll see why we need this in a minute. I'm going to change this color just to keep it simple for visual. So this is the one that we're going to be working with here. We do want this in the exact same spot, so we do need to select both of these and make sure that they are aligned. So I align left because I want it to be in the exact same spot as the teal color, and I want to align to the top so that they're sitting in the same spot. Because I do need this item to create, to do slicing, to make everything fit together. Now we are going to make this one actually slightly smaller so that when we slice, there's going to be a little bit of an overlap between the ears and the body. So to do that, we're going to use offset, and then here you can either move it or you can put it in, type it in. I'm just going to put minus 0.15, and that's going to make it a little bit smaller. That's a little too much, sorry, without the 0. Because we just want a little bit of an overlap. So we're going to push apply there. And then we have the black circle. So we're going to get rid of the red circle because that's the one we're going to work with is this black one. And I'm actually going to duplicate it a couple times because we do need one per level or per layer so that I have 5 of those. And again, what we're going to want to do is make those all in the same spot. So I'm going to hide my teal one for now. We're going to select these all. And we're going to align to the left because that was where the original was, and align to the top. And this is where it's good to hide your extra layers. So we'll get rid of those extra ones so we only have one. Now we're going to work with the ears. So let's take this one. I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. And what we're going to actually do is select these two and slice. And then we will select these two and slice. And then in our menu here, we can get rid of all of the things that we don't want. So the only thing we want left are the ears. So no black and no little piece for the teal. So these ears are done now, so we're just going to hide those so that we can work on another layer. And let's grab the next layer. And this one. I'll show you how to put these together afterwards. Take this one, and we're going to use the slice tool again. And then we're going to take this one and we're going to slice it as well. You're going to do this for each of the layers. The only one you don't have to do this for is the back one where it's all solid, so there's no cutouts. And then we'll take another black one and we'll grab another 2 of these. And again, slice them. At any point you can pause this if it's easier for you. I'm going through it quick just so that it's not a super long video. And then we're going to hide those ones. And we have one more, so I actually have one too many of these circles, so we'll get rid of that one. This one and this one. The other one's solid, so we're just going to weld those ones. Slice it again. All right, so now we have all our ears. So this is where we're going to work with the main mandala. So I'm going to go and find the main one. So this is the top one here. And you can see here, if I do this in a different color just for a minute, you'll see how they overlap. Okay, so, and that's what you want. You want them to have that just slight overlap, nothing that's going to go beyond that outer band. Switch this back here. And then what we're going to do is select all of these and weld them together. And then this is going to create one of the layers. You can see it in this top right hand corner here. Now it is all as one, and it will cut as one item. Just for simplicity, we are going to just have one layer on the canvas at a time. So grab our next one. They're all in the same place. Try not to move anything, because if you do, then it ends up messing things up because they're not all lined up. And then we have our second layer. And we'll grab our next one. And they'll make nice clean connections here, so you can see that they're all connected nicely here. So that slight overlap makes a big difference in when we're doing these mandalas. So we have 2 more layers to do. This is our last cutout layer. And then we just have our last one to do. So we'll open these ones back up, or open so we can see them. Now these ones overlap here, but because there's no cutouts here, it's not going to make a difference when we weld them. It's just going to give us that solid look. And that's your 5 layers. So we go from, it's right now in reverse, so we can orientate those. I'm going to get rid of my black one so it's not in the way. Our blue is at the top. So it goes from darkest to lightest, and there is your mandala. All right, and then you can save it. I also did a backing for mine. You can adjust the size here. The one that I did was for an 8x8 frame, so I didn't want it to be any wider than 7 inches, so that I had a little bit of a, whoops, I forgot to select them all, because they're not all grouped together. So we'll group it together so that anything you changes all of them. But I changed mine so that I had an 8x8 frame. I decided I didn't want it to be, I wanted to have a little bit of space, so I went 7 inches. And I did add in a background, so I just took a square to put in the background, and that square I wanted to be 8x8, not 82 but 8, and I'm gonna move that down so that it's behind. It's not quite centered here. You can certainly center it if you want, but when you actually get to, we go to select all, we can align them center, and then that's what gave me that, cutting that background for behind my mandala. And then I just used some foam, 2-sided foam tape, and cut them into nice small pieces so that I could do that, make sure that there was like a raised aspect to it, so that each layer wouldn't sit flat. So you can stop obviously this video at any point and go back. When you do go to cut, you're going to want to make sure that you do cut it using the cardboard or the cardstock intricate cuts, because there are some really small cuts, especially in here. So it will make sure that you're not making a mess out of it or breaking up the paper. I also make sure that use a bayer, or make sure that you really press down that paper on your mats. I used the green mat for mine so that it was really attached, and when you're taking it off, make sure you flip it over and peel from the back. One of the tips that Cricut uses. All right, so hopefully that helps you. Good luck.